Silence of the Lambs is a movie released in 1991. I appreciate all of my subscribers who voted an overwhelming majority for me to watch this movie. You hear about it in pop culture all over the place. You know, it's a constant reference point, be it in movies, TV shows, or music. It has an effect on the culture at large. So it is long overdue for me to watch this, and I, for one, cannot wait. I appreciate you watching this, and if you like this video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave me some comments so I can have a nice little personalized handshake with the algorithm. And if you are looking for an additional way to show this channel some support, go ahead and mosey on over to the Patreon, Mr. Valentine Reacts. There you can get access to all of these videos early and exclusive content and voting polls, and it's just a little fuel that keeps this engine running. I appreciate all of my supporters over there on the Patreon. I appreciate you showing me some love, truly. Thank you, Jacob Jones, Brian Pierce, and Gabe Alva. You know, my gratitude cannot be overstated. And let's keep this ball rolling. All right, so without further ado, let's experience Silence of the Lambs. Let's do it. Jodie Foster. I cannot look at Jodie Foster's face without thinking about Taxi Driver. She's a woman in what looks to be a predominantly male field. How would that influence the unfolding of the plot? Oh. Bill Skins fifth. So there's a killer on the loose.
A job's come up and I thought about you. Not a job, really, more of an interesting errand. Sit down.
Interesting errand. That's a choice of words.
We're interviewing all the serial killers now in custody for a psychobehavioral profile. Be a real help in unsolved cases.
I bet that's taxing, interviewing psychopaths and trying to tap into their psyche.
See, the one we want most refuses to cooperate. I want you to go after him again today in the asylum. The psychiatrist, Hannibal Lecter.
She has the intelligence and the educational background to do the job, but will she be able to align practice with theory?
Oh, he's a monster. A pure psychopath. From a research point of view, Lecter is our most prized asset.
Prized asset. This isn't a county fair, guy.
You know, we get a lot of detectives here, but I must say I can't ever remember one as attractive.
Oh, this guy's slimy. Slimy.
Pretty young woman to turn him on. I don't believe Lecter's even seen a woman in 8 years. And oh, are you ever his taste?
All right, this guy is objectionable. I don't like how they're throwing her to the wolves. He hasn't seen a woman in 8 years. He's like, let's roll the dice with Jodie. There's a lot of red flags, man. It takes a certain amount of gumption to even enter into this situation, especially basically fresh out of school.
The doctors managed to reset her jaw, more or less. Save one of her eyes. His pulse never got above 85.
What? This guy's deranged. Hannibal Lecter is deranged. Pulse not above 85, so he was calm, cool, and collected, being an animal. And just imagine, these people actually exist. The serial killers, there are FBI agents and specialists tasked with trying to get into their mind. It takes a strong constitution. Oh, look how he's standing. Like he knew she was coming.
Dr. Lecter, my name is Clarice Starling.
May I see your credentials?
Certainly.
Are you even qualified to speak to me?
Closer, please. Closer.
See, already he's manipulating the situation.
Jack Crawford sent a trainee to me.
Yes, I'm a student.
He's like the audacity.
That is rather slippery of you, Agent Starling. Sit, please.
I like how we're getting over the shoulders of both characters. So it's kind of inviting the audience to indirectly empathize with Hannibal Lecter.
What did Miggs say to you?
He said, I can smell your cunt.
Regrettably. That's true. He did say that.
I myself cannot.
Oh, this is unsettling.
Lend us your view on this questionnaire, sir.
You were doing fine. You had been courteous and receptive to courtesy. Now this ham-handed segue into your questionnaire, it won't do.
He's denigrating her tactic.
You know why he's called Buffalo Bill?
Why is he called Buffalo Bill?
Why do you think he removes their skins? Throw me with your acumen.
Throw me with your acumen.
Killers keep some sort of trophies from their victims.
I didn't.
No. No, you ate yours.
Hey, Anthony Hopkins is magnetic right now. Every choice he makes as an actor is interesting. And his cadence is alluring. Just toying with her.
Do you know what you look like to me with your good bag and your cheap shoes? You look like a rube. A well-scrubbed, hustling rube with a little taste.
This guy is insidious.
And that accent you've tried so desperately to shed. What does your father do? Is he a coal miner? Does he stink of the land?
All right, well, who is profiling whom here? And look at her face. He is eradicating her sense of self in the first couple of minutes.
What about it? Why don't you look at yourself and write down what you see? Maybe you're afraid to.
Okay, she's playing a little intellectual tennis.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Oh. Oh, that's an outrageous thing to say and to admit freely and casually. I bet his heart rate didn't go above 80 in reciting that tale.
I bit my wrist. Look at the blood! Gotcha!
Oh. Oh. That's ludicrous. He just shot her in the face with his own fluid.
Go seek out Miss Moffat, an old patient of mine, M-O-F-E-T. Go now!
Alright. Now that was a powerful shot. A low angle, moving close. Both of them have some modicum of power. But he is leading her down a trail of answers so they can benefit mutually. What he's getting out of is this sadistic pleasure and she career advancement.
Daddy!
Don't you like a good heartwarming flashback after something so patently traumatizing for her?
Miggs is dead.
Dad. How?
How do you think?
The orderly heard Lecter whispering to him all afternoon and Miggs crying. They found him at bed check. He'd swallowed his own tongue.
Swallowing your own tongue. That's unimaginable. Hannibal Lecter then formulated a series of words in order to get this guy to off himself in one of the worst ways possible.
I figured he's from Baltimore, and I looked in the phone book, and there's a yourself storage facility.
Oh, I like the way this is going. It's going to be a cat and mouse game.
Yes, I won't disturb anything, I promise. I'll be out of here before you know it.
Ain't no telling what's in this storage room.
If this door should fall down or anything else,
That covers a lot of ground. Anything else?
you call them if anything should happen.
So it's posing the question, how much is Clarice willing to give of her body and mind to help this case? A nice hodgepodge of ominous items in the storage room. That's disturbing. He has a fully dressed mannequin in the back of a car inside of a storage room with no head, smoking a cigarette in tableau. If that's not a window into this guy's mind, I don't know what is. Yo! Come on. A decapitated head. Just rotting in this storage room. It's diabolical.
Meaning that you rented that garage?
He's just MIA somewhere in the cell. It's engaging cinematography.
Your bleeding has stopped.
How did you?
Yeah, how did you know indeed?
Why don't you ask me about Buffalo Bill? His real name is Benjamin Rasbell, a former patient of mine.
What a thoughtful psychiatrist.
If you didn't kill him, then who did, sir?
How did you feel when you saw him, Clarice?
Scared at first, then exhilarated.
Exhilarated? Clarice is getting a little bit too vulnerable with Hannibal Lecter here.
Do you think he visualizes scenarios, exchanges, fucking you?
That doesn't interest me, Doctor. Frankly, it's the sort of thing that Miggs would say.
Not anymore.
Oh, that's cold-blooded. So he kind of defended her in his own sick, twisted way. He made him kill himself. So that's a strange predicament to be in, if you're Clarice. That was an attempted noble act from a psychopath. What do you do with that information?
I'm offering you a psychological profile of Buffalo Bill. I'll help you catch him, Clarice.
I don't know about the insight you can gain from Hannibal Lecter. What are his motives? Is he a reliable source?
Our little Billy must already be searching for that next special lady.
Memphis, Tennessee. So she's the next target, you mean? Oh, cinema, am I right? Oh. A predator on the hunt for prey.
Hey, a little cheaper.
That feline's senses are tingling. Oh, don't take the bait. Don't take the bait.
Can I help you with that?
Would you?
Sure.
Oh. No good deed goes unpunished.
Oh,
Okay.
get in the truck and I want to push it all the way up.
Oh, your alarm bells aren't going off? Get in the truck.
Say, are you about a size 14?
Malicious. That is malicious. Are you about a size 14? How was that pertinent, sir? Don't be doing what I think you're about to do. Oh, man. That's unsettling. Yeah, he has the temerity to have the word love tattooed on his hand. The cat's like, come on, bro. You said you'll be right up.
There's no evidence of rape or physical abuse prior to death. All the mutilation you see there is post-mortem. Okay, 3 days.
That's cruel. Unfortunate and vivid pictures they're showing.
30s or 40s, he's got real physical strength, and he's never impulsive. He'll never stop.
Hell of a conclusion to draw about a person based off the evidence.
That's why you sent me in there, isn't it? To get his help on Buffalo Bill, sir? I just wish I was in on it, that's all.
She don't want to seem like a toy.
Special Agent Terry, Agent Starling. I didn't call you. That was somebody from the state attorney's office.
Bureaucratic hostility between different factions of the police force. That age-old tale, huh? There's nothing more communicative than a close-up shot in a movie, and an actor able to convey a lot of information with just a look. They're shooting daggers of judgment in her face. So technically, she's their superior, right? So just think about all the resentment and the egotistical problems that arise from such a scenario. Like this shot right here is hypnotic. Got a close-up of her face, and then we're doing a reverse shot of her walking towards the body. Engages one's curiosity. And now we know why that shot was composed in such a way. It scratches at the wound of her own trauma regarding the loss of her father. What is that, Vicks Vapor Rub? Probably not.
Star-shaped contact entrance wound over the sternum.
It's a harrowing line of work.
Ray, get pictures of her teeth. We'll fax them for missing persons.
Seeing the byproduct of a serial killer's perversion.
She's got something in her throat.
Lots of times there's like leaves and things in the mouth.
All right, Mr. Incompetence here. Listen to Clarice. She's worth her salt. What on God's green earth is that?
That's a bug cocoon.
Somebody shoved it in there.
Well, that's detestable. That's what tickles your fancy?
Think of these. Different conviction.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that shot at all.
Victim's skin removed, this time in 2 large diamond-shaped sections above the buttocks.
The picture of that body is grotesque.
The beetle moves one of your men. Does that still count?
Of course it counts. How do you play?
That's Bulldog from Frasier.
You mean this is like a clue from a real murder case? Cool.
Just ignore him. He's not a PhD.
Sucker. Okay.
This guy's looking at her like, oh, I haven't been this close to a woman since my birth.
What do you do when you're not detecting, Agent Starling? Ever go out for cheeseburgers and beer?
Pipe down, dude.
Somebody grew this guy. Fed him honey and nightshade. Somebody loved him.
Well, that's chopped and screwed. Going to great lengths in order to fill this sinister need to torture someone and kill them in a particular way. Alright. This guy is wicked. It's a very sophisticated dungeon. Oh! And he has the nerve to have a dog. There's something even more diabolical about the dog, having the dog.
Is now believed to have been kidnapped by the serial killer known only as Buffalo Bill.
A senator's daughter. I don't think that was happenstance.
I'm speaking now to the person who's holding my daughter. You have the power. You are in charge.
Try to feed his ego, stroke his ego as a strategy for her daughter's release.
That you're big enough to treat Catherine better than the world has treated you. My daughter is Catherine.
I mean, but yeah, you're trying to reason with somebody who's unreasonable in his obsession. Trying to take a logical approach to an illogical person. It's going to be an uphill battle to try to get him to see her as a human.
He is my patient. I have rights, not just some turnkey.
This guy's having a power trip. He's feeling excluded and a sense of inferiority.
The senator promises you a transfer. VA hospital at Oneida Park, New York.
They're granting concessions with a serial killer because of his intellectual prowess and understanding psychopaths of this nature, seeing that he is one himself. They're asking for his help. That's remarkable.
Quid pro quo. I tell you things, you tell me things. Not about this case, though. About yourself.
Dangerous territory. Come on.
What is your worst memory of childhood?
Death of my father.
Tell me about it and don't lie, or I'll know.
I feel like she is making a grave mistake right now. Because she was already cautioned not to let him get into her personal life, and she's throwing it out willy-nilly.
Surprised 2 burglars coming out of the back of a drugstore. They shot him. My mother died when I was very young, so...
And you could somewhat interpret sympathy and compassion on Hannibal Lecter's face.
She had an object deliberately inserted into her throat.
Was it a butterfly?
There lies the movie poster.
The significance of the moth is change. Caterpillar into chrysalis, from thence into beauty.
A nice metamorphosis.
No, tell me why.
After your father's murder, you were orphaned. What happened next?
Let's get back to the personal nitty-gritty.
I ran away.
Did the rancher make you perform fellatio? Did he sodomize you?
What kind of inquiry is that?
Billy is not a real transsexual, but he thinks he is. He tries to be.
That's a magnificent shot.
Look for severe childhood disturbances associated with violence.
So he was abused as a kid. Hurt people hurt people.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told.
Is he speaking in riddles?
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Got a very aggressive poodle. He's conditioned for violence.
I won't press charges, I promise.
Now it places the lotion in the basket.
Oh, he's checked out. He's checked out. I don't think he's hearing one word she's saying. Buffalo Bill is projecting all of his anger he holds towards his parents for treating him like that onto all of his victims. Oh, man. And he's just emulating her As if trying to see if his emotions are still real, if he can still feel pain.
There never was a deal with Senator Martin, but there is now. Of course, I worked in a few conditions for my own.
Oh, he's laser focused on that pen. He's about to have the Midas touch, all right.
Did you have a trainee make some sort of phony offer to lecture in the senator's name? Yeah, I rolled the dice. I had to.
This guy is just duplicitous. He is lying every chance he gets to Clarice. Just hanging her out to dry.
Now we're going to treat you as good as you treat us. You should be caught.
Look at this guy. He think he's doing something. The arrogance he radiates.
Here, sir, use mine.
Nah, bro. Nah, where is that pen? Oh, look at that camera work. A quick zoom into his face. That tells us, the audience, where the hell that pen is. How is Hannibal Lecter going to utilize this pen?
Senator Martin, Dr. Hannibal Lecter.
They still refer to him as doctor.
I brought an affidavit guaranteeing your new rights.
Let me help you now, and I will trust you when it is all over.
I feel like they're entering into a world of pain. It's a recipe for disaster.
I met him just once. He was referred to me by my patient Benjamin Raspel. They were lovers, you see.
And the plot thickens.
He'd be about 35 now. He said he lived in Philadelphia, but may have lied.
So Buffalo Bill is a former patient of his. So he has firsthand knowledge of the depravity. He's just being very studious reading a book. Of course he is.
Anthrax Island. That was an especially nice touch, Clarice.
Anthony Hopkins is turning in a magnificent performance right now.
We begin by coveting what we see every day. Don't your eyes seek out the things you want?
Please tell me how.
No.
He's withholding.
Why did you leave that ranch?
Gonna have to open up to a maniac in order to get what you want.
You went to live with cousins on a sheep and horse ranch in Montana. And?
He just has this memorized.
And one morning I just ran away.
Not just, Clarice. What set you off?
All right, this scene, this exchange has me hooked. This one anecdote, which was a very formative experience for her after her parents died, living in this ranch and running away, he knows that's the key to understand who she is. And so he's not giving it, he's not giving up, he's not giving in any more information until she discloses this. And that is at once brilliant and terrifying.
Lamb, they were screaming.
They were slaughtering the spring lambs.
They were screaming.
And therein lies the movie title.
First I tried to free them. I opened the gate to their pen, but they wouldn't. They just stood there.
They were conditioned.
I took one lamb and I ran away as fast as I could. I thought if I could save just one, but he was so heavy.
Oh, he's deeply embedded into her neural circuitry. He's in her brain now, just by her opening up this one fact about her, which made her who she was. He's in like Flint now. He's in there like swimwear.
Rancher was so angry, he sent me to live at the Lutheran orphanage. I never saw a ranch again.
What became of your lamb, Clarice?
So you didn't run away. You got kicked out for having a kind heart.
You still wake up sometimes, don't you? To hear the screaming of the lamb.
Yes.
That's profoundly sad.
Do you think if you save poor Catherine, you could make them stop, don't you? Do you think if Catherine lives, you won't wake up in the dark ever again to that awful screaming of the lamb?
So she's trying to remedy her trauma, trying to redeem herself with this substitute of a case.
You will let me know when those lambs stop screaming, won't you? Clarice!
I don't think there's been a more apropos naming of a movie than this one, with the backstory. Charlie Kaufman's Synecdoche, New York is a close second. Oh, now he's drawing pictures of her. And the and the lamb. And it's kind of frustrating how artistically talented he is.
Son of a bitch demanded a second dinner. Lamb chops.
Lamb chops. Oh, what is that in his mouth? Oh, they're done. Look how he's stalking around. He is embodying, Anthony Hopkins is embodying this character right now.
Are you and you are Sergeant Pembry?
Oh, they don't even know what's coming around the corner. He's going to break out now. I thought he's going to save it for later. So they are, in fact, about to meet their fate. They're about to meet their maker. Yo. Yo, he's living up to his name. Golly. That's something. That is insane. That is insane. And he's moving so methodically too. Oh my God. He planned that so perfectly. My question is, how was he able to get that gold pen though if he was shackled? And he's so deranged, he's back to enjoying the music. He's like, what? You still alive? Where's the Hey, where's the backup at? Is he not being monitored?
Ready when you are, Sergeant Pembry.
Ready when you are. I like verbal symmetry. I like narrative symmetry. Chiasmus, I think it's called.
Shots fired on 5.
Sergeant Tate!
Y'all in for a world of hurt. Y'all gave him an opportunity. He's a force to be reckoned with, notoriously. And he is always meticulously planned. Oh, come on. That's unreasonably nasty. Oh, come on. That's unreasonably nasty. Hung him up as a decoration.
Lecter's gone, Sarge. Prisoner's missing. Repeat, Lecter's missing and armed.
This is a hell of a predicament.
He's alive. Lecter's missing and armed.
Pembry, can you hear me?
They are rightfully in a panic because his reputation precedes him. And ain't no way he's still there. I feel like he's gotten out of Dodge already. He's halfway across the state.
Looking good, Pembry. You're gonna make...
Looking good? I mean, there's a lot of things to say in this moment. I don't think looking good is one of them. Okay, the camera is taking his time in his elevator, which would lead me to believe that Hannibal Lecter's up in the roof of this elevator, in the ceiling. Well, I'd be darned. It can't be him though, right? He would just stay behind and get captured.
Put your hands on your head.
Alright, it's either he has a high pain tolerance, whoever that guy is, or it's part of his scheme again. I like the tactic of not showing his face.
Found with a 50-year-old male police officer with severe facial...
Oh, snap. Severe facial... Oh. He bamboozled him.
Running and the patient is on 10 years of...
He carved his face off and wore it as a mask. Oh, that is exceptional. That is exceptional writing. That is exceptional from a cinematic standpoint and from a story inside the diegesis. He cut that guy's face off and wore his mask out in order to do the old switcheroo, the old rope-a-dope. That's masterful. You can't help but acknowledge and give him a credit for the act, but it's still atrocious. And this guy's stitching a face of his own. 'Cause I'm intrigued. My interest is piqued right now.
How do we first start to covet?
We covet what we see every day. You know it.
There's something far-reaching about that sentiment about coveting what you see every day, especially in the age of social media and the scarcity and the comparison.
Went into Chicago on the bus to see about a job. She never come home.
That is heavy. A music box. Where'd you buy that from? The movie Little Shop Around the Corner? Great movie. I like the through line of cats in this movie because a cat was at the senator's daughter's house. Pets in this movie. It gives me something like a symbolism of domestication versus feral in nature. Buffalo Bill has a dog, and now there's a cat that's leading her to a certain direction. So I don't think that's accidental.
He's making himself a woman's suit, Mr. Crawford, out of real women. He's a tailor or a dressmaker.
She's putting it together. She's putting it together.
Thanks for the scraps, asshole.
She still got some fire in her. Okay. She got some tricks up her own sleeve. Let's see.
I got yummy snack for you.
She's... Oh, that is not a sight that I cherish. A nipple piercing on the chest of a maniac.
Come on, take that bone. Come on. Come on.
Take that bone. Fall for it. He should have... What the... He's shooting a music video? I'm getting a gross feeling watching this guy. It's just such... He's radiating such negative... Oh! John Tucker must die. Oh. What in the tuck did I just witness? Oh man, tuck that. That's untucking believable. Oh, a little bit of levity to end that scene. That's funny. She got his balls in a vice. Got your pet now. Is your move.
Don't you make me hurt your dog. You don't know what pain is.
It's an interesting set of circumstances here.
Good afternoon.
Oh, buddy.
What's the problem, officer?
I'm investigating the death of Frederica Bimmel.
She's in hot water. And she's out there on her own.
I got his card in here someplace. Do you want to come in while I look for it?
Really?
Yes, sure.
Oh, man. There's a lot of tension in the scene that I'm feeling. So this movie is being effective in that regard.
Did she leave any records, any tax forms?
Oh, and there's a butterfly in the background. And you're analyzing the evidence in this situation. And that has to be dawning on you just what house you're in. Yeah, pull that. No. Don't just unfasten the holster. Brandish that weapon.
Freeze! Put your hands over your head.
She got him.
Thumbs up.
Oh, come on. Come on, man. Should have had a couple slugs in his backside. The courage it takes to proceed in such a situation.
Catherine Martin, FBI, you're safe.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch now.
Now, where is he?
How the fuck should I know? Just get me out of here.
Yeah, that's a valid response. What do you mean, where is he? Look where I am, sister.
No, don't you leave me here, you fucking bitch, no!
Catherine's got some spunk and comedic timing. What? She's been compromised, it looks like. And the only reason he hasn't killed her has to be because he's taken a sadistic pleasure. Oh, don't go out like this. Not like this, Clarice. Yo, talk about wheeling and dealing. She had some John Wick level of accuracy and turned on a dime. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Buffalo Bill, gotta be quicker than that.
How did you track Buffalo Bill to this address?
So do we just not see Hannibal Lecter for the rest of this movie? And is there a sequel?
Starling.
Well, Clarice.
He's back.
I have no plans to call on you, Clarice. The world's more interesting with you in it. So you take care now to extend me the same courtesy.
You know I can't make that promise.
The world is more interesting with you in it. High praise from a serial killer. Has to bring up a whole lot of cognitive dissonance in Clarice. A lot of ambivalence about the nature of what he's saying and who's saying it.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.
Ugh. That's a grossly outlandish thing to say. Old habits die hard. Cannibal Lecter. And then we just zoom out. He's in some foreign country, having gotten away with all of this murder and danger and being a free man on the run. Now that is cinema par excellence. That is the quintessential version of a cinematic experience. You know, after watching this, I feel like I have grown in some capacity. watching the unfolding of this plot. We meet a young female FBI agent who is tasked by her higher up to get close to this serial killer who's behind bars and enlist him to help with another serial killer who's on the rampage. And this movie took us down this very compelling journey of human psychology and emotional trauma, and a peek inside the mind of a sociopath and psychopath. I'm still stunned by his maneuvering out of that jail cell and taking that police guard's face and switching places with him as a successful method of escape. That was a hair-raising scene. And I like the cinematography. The cinematography was so engaging as well because the amount of close-ups and the balance of low angles and the right amount of soundtrack really coalesced into a pleasing end product. A pleasing end product. You know, and the whole theme of the butterfly was really effective to me as well because, you know, from Buffalo Bill, the serial killer who had abducted the senator's daughter, you know, he was having some identity crisis and he was literally killing women and taking their skin in order to become them, coveting them, as it were. And, you know, this symbolism, this theme of metamorphosis, undergoing radical change and trying to transfigure oneself into a higher or more elevated condition or status. And it worked for me. It worked for me. This movie had me on the edge of my seat. And it's a sign of a good movie when you're not looking at how much time there is left or what time is it IRL. You're just really focused on the telling of the narrative and the equation of the movie. I love when movies have me lost in the equation of it, just trying to figure out the formula, how 1 + 1 = 2 in this movie's math. And Anthony Hopkins, dude. Anthony Hopkins in this movie was so spellbinding. It was magical. His acting choices, his cadences, he physically embodied a serial killer in such a convincing, concise, and persuasive way that you kind of like, you're kind of impressed with his, you know, his way with words and his deductive reasoning. But then you realize that he's, you know, a maniac, a lunatic. So that kind of balances it out. But Anthony Hopkins as an actor, if he didn't win any awards or not even nominated for an Oscar, he will have suffered a grave injustice. Just like that dog almost suffered at the hands of Catherine in that well. But she got rescued and Jodie Foster turned in a strong performance because she's asked to do a lot in this movie, Jodie Foster is, because she is the fulcrum. She's the linchpin of this movie. And the fact that she carried it with relative ease is magical. And yeah, this was a good experience for me. I'm definitely going to be watching more psychological thrillers because I love the gear this movie shifted my brain into. It activated a different part of my brain, it felt like. So if you all know of any psychological thrillers that are anywhere near the vicinity in the ballpark of this movie, let me know in the comments. And appreciate you sharing this movie experience with me. And if you like this video, and leave me some comments. Aside from more psychological thriller recommendations, also tell me your favorite part of the movie. Because for me, it was that scene. I mean, the ending of the movie was fantastic. The way she stumbled upon Buffalo Bill in kind of like a circuitous way. And then it was the reveal that the police were at the wrong house and she was by herself. And it was, you know, it was very tantalizing and an exciting scene. But that whole sequence of him in that jail cell, listening to music, meditating, and planning that whole sequence of events meticulously, that stole it for me. That stole it for me. But yeah, let me know. I appreciate you watching, and if you want an additional way to support this channel, go ahead and moonwalk over to the Patreon, Mr. Valentine Reacts, where you can get all of these videos early. Exclusive content. I'm going to start doing movie analyses over there. So if you like these reviews towards the end of my reaction, you're going to want to be on that Patreon because I'm going to be putting up exclusive movie reviews. Movies I've already seen before, and movies I'm just seeing for the first time. So, once again, a special shout out goes to Jacob Jones, Brian Pearson, and Gabe Alva. You're keeping this creativity afloat on this channel, and my thanks cannot be overstated. All right, till we meet again.